It's Kathy Cassidy again, and I'm going to read you chapter 12 today of Love from Lexie. But before I do that, by special request, we have another guest appearance from the one and only Mary Shelley. She's not used to getting this up close and personal with a camera, but I think she's very pretty, so hopefully I'm actually holding her right up in the air, so it's a bit scary for her. That's why I've got a scarf underneath her so she doesn't feel scared. She's indoors at the moment because it's gone really cold outside. Even though it's a bit sunny, it's a bit too cold for her. So she's in the room that I used to write in, and she's got her own special sort of lamp to keep her warm, and she just wanders around. So I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to just let her carry on and do her thing, and I'll carry on, and yeah, we'll see. Sometimes when I'm writing, actually, she comes and sits on my feet because I think they're quite, maybe to get a bit warm. I don't really know what that's about, but yeah, she's very cool and a good writing companion. So I wanted to read you chapter 12, and as promised, I thought that before I did that, I would just say a little hello to some of the people who've commented on my personal YouTube channel. I know there are also comments on the Kathy Cassidy TV YouTube channel and also on Facebook, but these are just some from my personal one. And so hello to Sophie, to Sean, to Francesca, to Ice Skater, to Spelthy, to Watch Me Dream, who I think is listening far away, so a very special wave for her. To my pal Fanula in Limerick, to Everything Little One, if you're still listening, and Annabelle and Aisha and Borna Angel, who listens every day and makes me feel happy. Veronica, to Natalie in Glasgow, and Delilah, who I know is just tuned in. So yeah, here we go with chapter 12, and as usual, we're going to start off with the bit in between the chapter, which this time is a letter from Lexie, but it's not to her mum, it's actually to the men in suits. So if you remember, they were the guys poking about the library yesterday, and this is what Lexie has written to them. Dear men in suits, sorry, but I don't know your names, and I suppose there might be quite a few men in suits at the town council, and women in suits too. This letter is to the two men who came to Bridge Street Library on Thursday. I don't know what you said or what you did, but it made the librarian cry, and I think that's horrible, because she is the kindest and most hard-working librarian I have ever met, with the coolest hair. Anyway, I was one of the kids doing band practice in the library last night, and we did get a little bit carried away and made a bit of a noise. If that was the problem, then you should blame me and not Miss Walker. We are very sorry. If I've got this all wrong and you are just planning to fix the damp patch and put in new window frames, apologies. Those things would be very nice, thank you. Anyway, please tell Miss Walker, the librarian, that she's brilliant and make her smile, or give her a pay rise or something, because she deserves it. Love from Lexie. Okay, so there's Lexie's letter. And chapter 12 itself is called Books and Dreams. Two of my favourite things in the world. So here we go. Last night we tried to talk to Miss Walker, but she shooed us away, said not to worry, and locked the door and turned away into the darkness. I've written a letter, I tell Bex as we walk to school the next day, to the council. I'm just as worried as you are, honest. I'm not worried, I'm furious, Bex snaps. Where did those creeps get off, making Miss Walker cry? We have to find out what happened, Lexie. Bex turns into a side street, a detour that leads to Bridge Street Library, and though I know the place doesn't open until 9, I don't hesitate. I follow. The two of us wait for a while outside the library, sitting on the big sandstone steps. Mum always took me to the library wherever we were living. She would use the computers while I looked at the books, and I always borrowed as many as my ticket would allow. Those books had been pure magic to me, stepping stones to a world where anything was possible. They're not just books, they're dreams, Mum told me once, and I knew exactly what she meant. Mum's been gone a long time now, but I still love that feeling of being in a library surrounded by books and dreams. Sometimes I imagine I might look up from the shelves and see her sitting at one of the computers the way she used to. In my dreams, she'd be searching the internet for me, trying to track me down, and I'd be right there. There'd be some kind of hazy, slow-mo reunion, all tears and hugs and happy ever after, and we'd ride off into the sunset together. Yeah, right. That's why I love libraries, though. It's not just the books, it's the crazy hopes and dreams. Miss Walker didn't bat an eyelid when Bex and I scoured the shelves for books on how to be a detective, or when we read our way through endless Sherlock Holmes and Miss Marple novels. She let me borrow Frankenstein because she could see I'd fallen in love with the idea of it. Miss Walker must have scanned and stamped hundreds of books for me, everything from Tortoise Care and Missing Persons to Harry Potter. She makes us hot chocolate and lets us make a racket, and I hate the idea of horrible men in suits making her cry. We'll be late for school, obviously, Bex says. Dental checkup, do you reckon? Oh, sure, I agree. A little white lie for a good cause doesn't really count. Miss Walker arrives. Keys in hand, pink hair, light candy floss in the spring sunshine. Her face breaks into its usual smile as she sees us, and I tell myself that everything's fine, that we maybe got things wrong last night. Hello, Bex. Hello, Lexie, she says, unlocking the door. What's up? Did you leave something behind last night? No, we're just worried, Bex says. We wanted to find out what was happening. Yesterday, when we were leaving, you were crying, I add. Is everything okay? Miss Walker's smile slides away. Oh, girls, she said, it's not okay, not really. We've been kidding ourselves, imagining we could escape the council cuts. The government have slashed funding again, and there isn't enough cash to keep all the services running. They're looking for ways to cut back, and they've decided to close the local libraries and just keep the big one in town. Bex says something unprintable and kicks the wall, making a scuff mark with her black school docs. My mouth drops open. All the local libraries? But they can't do that, can they? I think they can, Miss Walker tells us, heading inside with us at her heels. She fills the kettle and sets out 2 extra mugs, opening a fresh packet of cookies. Libraries are closing all around the country, she says with a sigh, making hot chocolates all round. Hundreds of them in the last few years. The figures are frightening. We've been lucky to escape for so long. I don't know what will happen next, but I've got a bad feeling, a very bad feeling. It's not our fault, is it? I checked. The band. We didn't make too much noise last night. She shakes her head. Nothing to do with that, she assures us. It's all about money, I'm afraid. We sip our drinks, thoughtful. But all those meetings, Bex argues, you said everyone was determined to keep the library open. Everyone except the council, Miss Walker says. They're saying the building needs repair, that it's unfit for use. It's not perfect, but it's hardly derelict, is it? It looks like we're stuffed, basically. No way, Bex rages. We'll fight it all the way. We won't let this happen. They can't. Miss Walker leans against the counter, shoulders sagging. We'll fight, she tells us. We won't just roll over and let them win. But Bex has the shine of angry tears in her eyes, and she never cries, not ever. I think of the letter I've just posted. Writing letters is what I do, but it seems childish and futile. One letter? What good could that possibly do? It would take a lot more for the council to sit up and take notice. An avalanche of letters, maybe. The seed of an idea begins to grow in my mind, and the ghost of a smile lifts my spirits. We'll all help, I say, as brightly as I can. We'd better run, though, now. We're late for school already. Dental appointment, Bex says, sadly biting into another cookie. One last thing, Miss Walker says. They're putting us on shortened hours from now on. We'll be closing at 5 every night. No more band practice. You'll need to find another place to rehearse. I'm sorry. Don't worry, I say. I'll tell the others. We'll find somewhere else. And we'll think of something to stop them, Miss Walker. We won't let the library close, I promise. I have no idea if it's a promise I can keep. Rescuing a library may be a step too far, even for me. So that's the end of chapter 12. Stay safe, keep smiling, and stay well. I will see you tomorrow for chapter 13, but until then,